Well, football is, of course, ultimately just a game, but for the next 2 hours, it might not feel like that. The stadium is full of noise and energy. This certainly matters. And the mood is boisterous. It is a perfect ambience for the central characters who are ready now to perform. And that gets things running. Well, Jim, Tony Adams, of course, is the absolute colossus in defence, isn't he?
Absolutely, and we all know about his defensive prowess and his leadership, but I think a lot of people overlook his versatility and his adaptability.
What do you mean by that?
Well, it's the way he's developed a more expansive, front-footed game over the years. That's highly impressive.
Now it's Dembele. Platini. And here's Del Piero. Gattuso. And here's Platini. Lovely, now then. Owen showed plenty of zest in getting to the ball, but couldn't quite sort it out. And he's intervened well there. Thuram. Galatasaray appearing to have the better of things in these early exchanges. Adams gets across to intercept that. It's not an especially good pass, that. Now that looks a decent ball. And that's a danger. Owen! Goal! Galatasaray! And Galatasaray have the lead. And that is fabulous. A true beauty of a goal.
And you can see he meant every bit of that, Peter. He had his head up as he went to hit it. He knew his landscape.
Number 10, Michael Owen.
So, a breakthrough already. Cafu.
Michael Owen.
A vicious ball here. And that is expertly dealt with. Galatasaray already with the upper hand and looking to turn it into something close to dominance. Camavinga. And if you have just joined us, still just one goal between them. 1-0 the score. Nicely aimed pass. That's a shade optimistic. It's a pretty loose pass. Davids.
They need to play this quicker in transitions like this.
Pass is just off target.
Well, a few of his teammates are quite furious with him as they felt they were within reach, but he made nothing of it. His boss doesn't look too amused either.
Well, that defending is unapologetically persistent. It's almost personal. And it had to be. And the return pass. Now he's off and running. Oh, now he can run away with it. Del Piero. He is always playing with one eye on the spectacular. Del Piero! Oh, full marks for that effort.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he tried one of his specials.
Played into space. Can he get on the end of this? And reclaimed it in a trice. And it's Del Piero. And that pass just didn't quite work. Threads one in. That's a lovely, neat pass. Owen is flagged offside. Now it's Owen.
It looks very much like they'd be happy to settle for this narrow lead at the break.
Spreads it out wide.
That's positional gold, the utilisation of space.
No, that's too long. Pepe is someone so often referred to as the defender's defender. Gattuso. Del Piero. And here's Owen. Cafu. Cafu charging forward, the ball at his feet. Looking to play him in. And he's only too happy to take that back. He is through here. Plenty to aim at here. Adams did just about enough to come out on top there. Neither party overly willing to compromise.
There will be 1 minute added time.
Ah, he's given it away. And it's Del Piero. Gattuso. Passes coming off in quick succession here. And that is the end of the first half. Well, it's certainly simmered along nicely so far. Just the one goal in it, and it's all still very much up for grabs. Some first half thoughts?
Well, I'm a little bit worried for them and the way they've looked in transitions, Peter. They've been a bit exposed, so they might be only one down, but they can't afford to have any more sloppy moments. Concede another, and we know it's an awful long way back.
Galatasaray have played well here, and they have the all-important lead. It's 1-0.
Just a quick request today for everybody to please kindly remove any cars parked on the road outside the stadium.
Down to business again.
Galatasaray definitely want to carry on in a similar manner, although I would exercise some caution, Peter. You wouldn't want to leave yourself open in the early minutes trying to kill this off.
This is Owen, and he is dashing away. In comes the corner. Galatasaray with the corner, they're first. Del Piero with the short one. Seedorf. And here's Platini. Howson does really well to win the ball there.
Well, that's good defending. He squeezed the play and he gave him no chance to get on the turn.
Now it's... and he shoots! And the ball's come loose here. He's had a fair tumble under that challenge. Now looking to orchestrate a counter. Now it's Owen. No, not quite on the same wavelength. That has been cut short. Challenge just a bit on the firm side. That is a jarring tackle, but apparently nothing wrong with it. Skillfully cut out. He is so at ease on the ball. Tries to pass it through. Platini. Oh, shooting chance! And he should have made them pay.
Platini has every reason to be disappointed after being played in so well. The gaffer won't let him forget that.
The message is clear, none shall pass. Oh, that's neat. Shapes to shoot! He's got away with one there.
I'm really impressed with the tenacity he's shown to intercept that. That's how they're going to make things happen.
That's gone all the way through to the keeper.
That's exactly what they need to keep doing. Carry on plugging away and eventually you might just get that little break.
This is a really front-footed approach.
Well, the question now is whether they can sustain it. I wouldn't fancy playing up front in these circumstances, to be honest. There's absolutely no supply.
Cafu spots it and intercepts. And it's Sané. Here's a man who his teammates can look to in all times. And Owen! And that's a good finish. 2 up now, and they are cruising. And that is a goal worthy of universal appreciation. Even the opposing fans have to recognise the quality there.
Oh, it was a real beauty, Peter, and while many might have just lashed out at it, he took his time and he put it where very few can.
The noise is just about reaching a crescendo here as these two sides get ready to lock horns. This is football at its finest.
Against Fenerbahce.
There's nothing quite like match day, especially here. This crowd doesn't do ordinary, and we should be in for something very special. And that gets things running. One of the most eagerly awaited games in football. It never lets us down. Owen, undoubtedly the centre of attention today. Another huge landmark reached. It is his 500th game for the team.
Well, he's a special professional who's done a sterling job to keep himself at the top of his game for oh so long. His durability and his mental strength have been a constant, and I wish him all the luck today.
Can he get on the end of this?
There's a real tenacity about their defensive play, and it's up close and personal. Well, he certainly wasn't in the mood to take any risks.
Now that looks a decent ball. And this is Del Piero. That is good strength. Oh, the movement is slick, the speed is slippery. The defence, though, able to hold on this time. Short changes him with that pass. That's good running with the ball. Fair to say, I think, a cautious start from both teams. He's got away. Oh, he's all alone. Goes for a shot! Goal! Galatasaray! The perfect script, the perfect outcome. A date with immortality. And a trademark move ends with the inevitable classy finish.
Just when they thought they may be in at one end, they end up shipping a goal at the other, and it's all due to wonderful counter-attacking. They hardly had time to even react, and there's only one word to describe that: clinical.
Galatasaray penetrate first. It is a truly precious lead.
Well, the roof's just about stayed on, but the crowd level has gone up a notch or 10.
Gattuso. And claimed it back swiftly. And they've got a throw. Tchouaméni. Aims beyond the defence. And this is Owen. Now, who's going to be first to this? Owen made a good run there.
I think there were a few doubts for a split second, Peter, as to whether he was offside. I think he really got away with one there.
And that's been intercepted.
He read that really well and stopped it.
Now it's Neymar.
Oh, great feat, that.
He has found a way through. Well, the defence just about came out on top, but they were certainly tested. Silvestre gets over and intercepts. And he welcomes it in. He's in, one shoots! Loose. It's fallen kindly here. He's got a goal! They are purring, truly purring. Some heroic goalkeeping, but even that couldn't save them this time.
Well, Peter, I know from experience there are players who always seem to know where the ball's going to end up. This isn't about luck at all, despite what people say. Just keep an eye on his movement.
Galatasaray are doing very nicely, thank you.
Yeah, and you have to say that the contrast of moods are very visible now. They really fancy themselves to go and wrap things up.
Messi! And that is doing no harm at all.
Well, that's a sign that he clearly feels the need to take it upon himself to try and get his side back into this.
He's going to be disappointed with that. Well-timed, excellent interception. Over to the right flank. And here's Messi. They get a throw in. He won't be happy with that one. Del Piero. Nicely aimed pass. It's Neymar! Oh, nice. Just not quite.
He actually looks pretty annoyed with himself there. He's usually better than that.
He's had a fair tumble under that challenge. Dani Olmo. Oh, it's Del Piero. Good read, needed to be. Half-time coming up, and little doubt as to which of the two sides is the happier. Spread out to the left. Look at the space here. Oh, robust challenge. Fenerbahce with their first corner, the first in the game for either side, actually. And he's managed to get rid. And it's going to be another corner. It's their second corner of the game. Messi with the short one. That's going to go a long way. Spread to the right. And it's McAllister. Tries to play it through. And that could set him on his way. Not a hint of offside here. De Ligt. Owen was ultimately thwarted there, but it took a few of them to stop him.
Oh, I was on the edge of my seat then. He just took on one too many.
2 added minutes has been indicated.
Shifted upfield. Great vision. No, not quite on the same wavelength.
There they go, hunting again.
And that's been drilled in.
Well, that has caused disappointment to some.
And for the first half, that is that. What to attack on the first 45 minutes?
Well, I think things have worked out pretty well so far, Peter. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I think the manager has to resist change at this stage.
And we come to
Well,
you
it
now
has
with
been
a quick request
confrontational,
for support
combative,
for our
competitive,
charity fund,
everything
Shares
you'd
in
expect from
Football.
Derby Day. Galatasaray sitting pretty here. 2 goals putting them into the driving seat. So we're straight back at it at the start of the second half. Messi. Davids. Now that's well seen too. De Ligt. And this is Batistuta. Fenerbahce claiming a corner, and the referee concurs. So, third corner of the game. Platini with the clearance.
Is that the first time we've seen them try that? It's definitely given the opposition a little more to think about.
And the finish! And that has been cleared. Seedorf. Batistuta! And that's another fine save.
Another cracking save from the keeper, Peter. He's playing a blinder.
And he opts to go forward. Galatasaray have the chance to go the other way. Threads one in. And he plays one through. Decent chance! And it's there! It's all becoming so easy. And that will surely go down as one of the easiest goals he could ever score.
Yeah, keeping calm and taking a touch like that when it's all going on around you isn't always that easy, but he made it look like a double. Finishing it off was quite simple after that.
A case now of complete control. And Batistuta! Batistuta! Utterly brilliant! About as smooth as it gets. You just know there is no stopping that.
And I think he's even surprised himself, Peter, in how well he caught that.
So could they be onto something here? Just about up to the hour now. Del Piero. Oh, well cut out, no margin for error there at all. And that interception was most necessary.
That was well played, well stopped. Yeah, they were looking for a counter-attack.
Tries to pass it through. Oh, well played. McAllister played out to the left flank. Now, what about a counter-attack? Fenerbahce ran themselves into the proverbial cul-de-sac there. Oh, it's a nice idea, but the execution was lacking. Tchouaméni, De Ligt.
They've got to make this nice and quick.
Knocks it into space. Lovely pass, but can he get there? Del Piero receives it in a wide position. Could be danger here. Chance! And he's stuck it away. And that is a genuine ground-eat-me-up moment.
Oh, how can they be so careless, Peter? It's too casual. They were never going to get away with that kind of sloppiness.
It's starting to look like a done deal now. Oh, now here's an interesting matchup. And it's McAllister. He'll try from distance! Lacking in accuracy.
Well, if they hope to have any chance of turning this round, they have to abandon their shoot-on-sight policy. It's just not working.
And it's Owen. And a chance! It's run, and the keeper couldn't hold it. And oh, he's got that completely wrong. Oh, good-looking ball. Batistuta chasing after it. Well, they've got it back in a hurry. And he cuts out the supply. Distributed tidily. Dani Olmo. Passing is crisp and sharp. There's some great running on show here, but ultimately there was no way through. Nicely weighted ball. Messi's cross. Buffon claims it without any fuss.
A lot of space here, a real opportunity.
And the pass is intercepted. Del Piero is in a really good position out wide. And he's straight offside. De Ligt has been booked, just to confirm, for that earlier incident.
I'd gave him a decision to make, Peter. Concede the foul or expose his keeper to a one-on-one encounter.
And it's Neymar. Into the last 5 minutes. Dani Olmo. Gattuso attempts a clearance. Turns back here, probably the best option. Well, he's looking at the referee, but the referee is shaking his head. Oh, well measured. Now it's Del Piero. Tries, and it's in! McAllister. Added time going up here, it's 3 minutes. And he's managed to get free. Dani Olmo! Oh, and the referee says that that is it.
Galatasaray.
Just a thrill to witness here. Quick, slick, and such fun. You really would fear for anyone playing up against them right now. So bring it on. Hype, expectation, emotion. The game yet to kick off. The excitement already palpable.
Arsenal against Galatasaray.
Have a look at this. It is what you anticipate here these days in London North 7. An undulating red and white wave, an Arsenal wave which envelops the team. So we're up and running. Philip Lahm, Jim Beglin, one of the greatest fullbacks ever, perhaps.
Oh, without doubt, Peter, he's definitely in that category when it comes to legendary players. I don't think I've seen someone as adaptable, as dependable, both going forward and having to get back too. Plus, he's got that excellent leadership he's always displayed, and he's won everybody's respect.
Yeah, and once described by one of the world's greatest managers as the most intelligent player I ever coached. And that interception was most necessary.
He read that really well and stopped it.
He ran himself into trouble there. Free kick given away. And it's not taken him long, and that's going to be a booking. Off target by a whisker. No, that was never going to make it. Oh, Red, nice interception. Now it's Del Piero. He is through here. Well, the defence proved infallible then, but that won't be the last they'll see of him. And here's Owen. Oh, he's enjoyed that. He evidently loves the contest. Good read, needed to be. Well, the ball just didn't work out for the run that he made.
Well, everything up to the final pass looked decent. They just couldn't pick out that killer ball.
Played out wide. Oh, he's having a go! A real chance and a real let-off.
Arsenal certainly look sharp there. They're very well drilled in this art of counter-attacking.
Well, that is one way to stop him. Oh, good read.
That's great positioning. So good from him.
No, it's come to nothing. Still goalless. Ibrahimovic might just make this. Lahm is someone so often referred to as the defender's defender. Del Piero. Platini. And this is Owen. Looking for the run. Expertly cut out. Really nicely done.
Arsenal definitely have the look of a team that likes to counter-attack, Peter.
Yeah, that is clear. Just look at how they line up.
Well, in other words, they don't mind being patient.
Lovely pass, but can he get there?
They've got to make this nice and quick. Galatasaray are totally dominant in the middle of the park, a no-way through zone.
And it's Del Piero. Platini. That's good play. Oh, shooting chance! Well, now it's a race for the ball. Bale.
It's a decent chance to counter-attack.
Oh, now here's an interesting matchup. Bumps him off it and wins back the ball. Platini. Now it's Del Piero. No, not quite on the same wavelength. Well, he was clearly disappointed with that pass.
Well, I think the opposition saw that pass coming a mile off, and it wasn't the best decision.
Lahm. Now it's Eto'o. And it's Rodri. Here's Roberto Carlos. Platini.
They want to be quick here. It's breakaway time.
Nicely intercepted. Roberto Carlos plays it long. Good defending there. They've slammed the door in the faces of the opposition. Well seen, saw that coming.
That was well played, well stopped.
That's an imaginative pass. That is a great pick out. And the finish! Well, that is remarkable.
Well, it didn't quite come off this time, Peter, but that's a warning to the opposition. This team know how to counter, and they'll be looking to do it every chance they get.
Threads one in. Gullit. He's cut it out.
If they want to counter, they could do with more speed.
Can he get on the end of this? Oh, he had to make that, and he did make it.
Well, a few of his teammates are quite furious with him, as they felt they were within reach, but he made nothing of it. His boss doesn't look too amused either.
Tries a shot! Platini, the specialist in tearing teams apart. Hops for safety. Over to the other side.
That's a cracking pass to stretch the opposition.
Maldini spots it. That's it, 45 minutes up. Well, it was a half of could-haves and should-haves, but as the whistle blows, we remain where we started. Plenty for both managers to mull over here. So very little to report. Nothing, indeed, in terms of goals scored.
Yeah, 0-0, but definitely not from the want of trying. There's been plenty of industry and hard work, as well as some good defending, so I wouldn't be too dismissive just yet.
So at the halfway stage, we still have deadlock. The score 0-0.
Substitutions taking place.
So we're underway for the second half. Both sides defensively robust up to now. Well played, that has snuffed out the danger. Turns back here, probably the best option. And he's worked it through. He's been bundled over, that is a foul. No second thought, a straight red card. Well, Jim, I suppose that was the only possible outcome in the circumstances.
Yes, sadly he knew exactly what he was doing and he had to go with the risk.
Substitution.
Great chance here from position A1. Roberto Carlos! Well cut out, no margin for error there at all. Gattuso. Now it's Owen. And this is Pirlo. Del Piero is flagged offside. And he's only too happy to take that back. And he was quick to react. Gattuso. Thuram. And Pepe. And it's Gattuso. Nesta. Maldini. Still waiting for the game to take off here. 0-0. And here's Owen. And this is Pirlo. Gullit, renowned for his long-range shooting. Pirlo. Oh, important interception. Roberto Carlos. Bale. Arsenal do have a chance to counter here. That's a lovely, neat pass. Great vision. And a shot! Good run, lovely take, but that is where it stopped.
That's good running. It makes life so much easier when you have people who are willing to go beyond the defence like that.
And still, we await the first breakthrough. Knocks it into space. And he cuts out the supply. Desai. Galatasaray still have the cards to affect this game. It's Pirlo! And again, he is at his elastic best.
Another cracking save from the keeper, Peter. He's playing a blinder. The taker has to look for options because an aerial supply doesn't look promising here.
Yeah, they need to be thinking in terms of guile, deception, don't they? Davids. Arsenal have the chance to go the other way. Eto'o is the type of player who always likes having a bit of space in front of him. Good ball over the top. Owen! It's bounced back off the post. And the shot! It's a goal! They've done it! Finally, they've broken through. It was a great finish. He put it away with great poise, dead-eye accuracy.
That's just a fabulous, fabulous finish. Anything that close to the frame of the goal, 99 times out of 100, the keeper's not getting there.
Galatasaray have taken the lead.
Well, it's great commitment on show here. They'll be hoping now that they can stay focused and disciplined enough to hold on to this.
Just about up to 75 minutes.
Variety is the spice of footballing life too. They need to alter their approach and start shifting this ball out wide.
Galatasaray couldn't do a whole lot with it there. They could do with more sharpness in their passing. Rodri calmly anticipates. And it's Lahm. Bale. Too much on it, and that is an easy claim for the keeper.
Arsenal really are showing all the necessary urgency, but it's...
And Pullet! Oh, he'd love to have another go at that.
Well, that's the response the crowd were looking for, Peter, and it's applause all round us here. All he needs to do is to place this between the goalposts and basically let them attack it.
Gullit. Number 21. Number 9. Ibrahimovic. Coming on the field.
Getting up there!
Number 17.
So
Nedved.
close to drawing level.
Number 26.
I don't think he can quite believe he didn't capitalise on that. He clearly fancied his chances.
Substitution in progress.
And he's intervened well there. Nicely shaped ball. Now that's well seen too. Galatasaray will have one further opportunity to make a substitution after this, their latest change. Galatasaray leading here by this still precarious 1-0 margin. Tries to pass it through, and he welcomes it in. It's out for a goal kick. Maldini cuts out the pass.
Arsenal really don't have a choice now. They just have to throw everything forward and give themselves a chance to draw level.
And the counter is on. That is ended up in no man's land. Pirlo. Shifted it to the flank. Owen in acres of space out wide.
4 added minutes has been indicated.
Well, they've got it back in a hurry. Roberto Carlos, quality ball. 4 extra minutes added on. Nicely weighted ball. Cute ball now, how can he reach it? Davids, nicely aimed pass. Whatever he had in mind, that was not it. Looking for a runner. Oh, the chip pass hasn't quite come off. Oh, there's a probing ball. And that will be the final act. Galatasaray have held on. They have doggedly, sometimes frantically, preserved the tightest of leads. Davids taking in the accolades, having been named man of the match, and deservedly so. So, Jim, how do you reflect on what we've seen? Well, football is, of course, ultimately just a game, but for the next 2 hours, it might not feel like that. The stadium is full of noise and energy. This certainly matters. Well, the stage is set for a stirring showdown here. The supporters in great voice, and there's a real sense of anticipation in the air. Game on. If you have just joined, you have just missed the kickoff. What an impressive figure Oliver Kahn cuts.
Yeah, they call him the Titan, Peter, and the reasons are fairly obvious. As personalities go, we're talking big.
As close as you get to goalkeeping perfection. Another pass just keeps it ticking over.
Well, that was well positioned and well pinched. They can't hurt with their backs to goal.
And here's Raul. Oh, easy pickings there. So, what can they make of this? He's a sharp little ball here. Owen has it out wide and in space. And a chance! Oh, he's been caught now, and the keeper couldn't hold it. It's run loose. Who's going to get there?
Galatasaray would very much seem to be growing their confidence here. You can feel it.
It's been a pretty high-octane start, at least from one side's perspective.
Yeah, it's a good start, Peter, and they look hungry for goals, and they'll be aware of having to capitalise in such a good spell.
Now it's Owen. Looking for the run. And Del Piero! And that's another fine save.
Well, the keeper saved his team again here, Peter, but he needs more protection from this defence.
And we have our very first corner. Del Piero plays it short. Opts to play it back. Galatasaray have their second corner now. Del Piero goes short. And that's very disappointing, it has to be said. Galatasaray are looking to go forward now. Platini. Olise is always playing with one eye on the spectacular. Nice sequence of passes, this.
Well, that's good defending. He squeezed the play and he gave him no chance to get on the turn.
Owen! Oh, belter! About as smooth as it gets. And Galatasaray have the lead. The movement so precise, the finish sumptuous.
Well, it's an example of counter-attacking at its finest. Real cut and thrust.
Galatasaray have fired themselves in front.
It's so often the case with goal scorers, little influence, and all of a sudden, bang.
And it's Neymar. Good play on the left-hand side here.
This is the time you need that pace.
Tries to play it through. And that is expertly dealt with. Vardiol. And if you have just joined us, still just one goal between them. And the score is 1-0. Grimaldo picks it up now. Oh, good effort! No, couldn't quite control it.
That's good play. Plenty of targets in the penalty area and plenty of movement too.
Now it's Raul. Nesta is one of those players who's known for reading the game better than anyone. And here's Owen. He's found a way through. And Owen! And that's in. Again, in a trice. And they are soaring. The lightness of step, the sharpness of movement, the certainty of finish. Galatasaray are sitting pretty, 2-0 up.
Well, that's really winded the opposition. You can see their manager screaming on the touchline, telling his team to calm down. But they'll need to do that pretty quickly. It's composure from here.
Maldini. Nesta is very much of the non-shell pass school of defending. And he's forced to go back. Gattuso. Thuram. That's a risky ball, you've got to say. Half-time coming up, and little doubt as to which of the two sides is the happier. And he welcomes it in. That has been cut short. Vardiol. Not the most accurate pass. Nicely weighted ball. And he welcomes it in. Neymar. And it's De Bruyne. Now it's Olise. No, he wasn't being taken in by that trickery. Oh, it's a nice idea, but the execution was lacking. Raul. Chance! Well, now it's a race for the ball. Takes a shot! Oh, and that is really good tenacity. Maldini is there, and he can get that clear. Shot, surely!
Minutes has been indicated.
Well, he got rid because he was under pressure.
Pinches it off him. Owen. Platini. And the through ball. Oh, he's all alone. Can he finish? Loose. In he goes again. Relentless. Just relentless. And they are disappearing out of sight. Some heroic goalkeeping, but even that couldn't save them this time.
That's smart play.
And that is indeed the final act. But I don't think many people saw this coming ahead of kick-off.
Galatasaray's absolutely dominated that half, Peter, and now it's all about game management. There's no need to overstretch themselves. Just stay calm and see this one out.
Galatasaray are relentlessly steamrolling their way to victory then. 3 goals scored without reply.
Substitution in progress.
We're on the move again. Guardiola promptly onto that, and that is that. Now it's Platini. Platini! Well taken goal. Untouchable, remorseless, relentless, a class of their own. That is lovely, finished with amazing expertise.
And you can see he meant every bit of that, Peter. He had his head up as he went to hit it. He knew his landscape.
And now he has 2. Galatasaray are at the peak of their powers. As for their opponents, a long way from that. Chance for a shot! And there's a goal! Piercing, and with pinpoint accuracy, he forces it through.
Yeah, Peter, I think we've got to give the keeper some slack here because he didn't have the greatest view of that, but you've got to give the scorer his due as well. I mean, he had that sharpness of mind and clinical edge.
Galatasaray still making a fight of this. Well timed, excellent interception. Seedorf. And he plays one through. Takes a shot!
Can't be expected to deliver anything better than that. This is heroic keeping.
Davids is there, and he can pick it up. Davids, foot in. Olise. And it's De Bruyne.
Oh, really well played.
And that has left him in a heap. Oh, that is good. Super running, sharp movement. Came up against a defender, though, who was ever so determined. Now it's Mbappe. And that is exemplary defending.
Well, what can you say about that? Just about everything was stacked against him, and he still came through.
Seedorf. And Owen! No, he's missed it.
Owen clearly felt that distance wasn't an issue, but maybe there were better options for him there.
Leicester gathers from the goal kick. Gently done. Olise will not want to lose out here, not against this opponent. Davids. Oh, that pass isn't the best. Neymar, who's set up 1 goal so far. It's not an especially good pass, that. Can he get on the end of this? Decent chance! And that's a sharp finish. It could be a lifeline. 2 more needed. A horrible blip, a situation utterly avoidable that has resulted in considerable embarrassment.
Yeah, they've only got themselves to blame. Mistakes in those areas are very punishable.
Still behind by 2. Is there a way back into this? He's on it. Can he get away? Mbappe. De Bruyne. Neymar. And he's lost his man here. Neymar! They want to be quick to recover this. Thuram getting this one clear. And he's got his cross in, skillfully cut out. He is so at ease on the ball. Del Piero. Now that looks a decent ball. Gattuso. Now it's Del Piero. That ball looks a good one. And this is Owen. And the shot! And that really should have been that.
Oh, he went for it there knowing full well that it could have all been wrapped up.
Galatasaray have their 3rd corner. And it's been taken short. Oh, shooting chance! And again! And that's a good finish. And he's only too grateful to capitalise on the keeper's misfortune.
Well, Peter, I know from experience there are players who always seem to know where the ball's going to end up. This isn't about luck at all, despite what people say. Just keep an eye on his movement.
So now the difference is 3. And he's picked it up out wide. He's shifting through the gears here. Yamal. McAllister. Vinicius Junior. Nice interception. His positioning was spot on. Aimed beyond the defence. Can he finish? Oh, wow, that's crazy!
Platini really played that return ball to perfection there, Peter. He knew the exchange was on and he put it on a plate for his teammate. That was just gorgeous.
After 86 minutes is...
And there
Number
was his
10.
3rd, and boy, he looks the business, doesn't he just?
He has simply been truly awesome. He really has stamped his authority on this.
Substitution.
Galatasaray are having a ball here. It's their 2nd corner of the game. And he's managed to get rid. And now a sudden chance to counter. Well, he has slightly undercooked that one.
Galatasaray clearly should have gone for the easier pass. Now they'll have to quickly regroup.
Delivery from Mbappe. And that's been well dealt with. Davids. That has not gone well. And the pass is intercepted. Now it's Owen. And this is Del Piero. Yeah, he's pulled him up for that challenge. Shot could be on. Neymar. That's destined for the flank. Well, that's been cut out. Well played. Well, he's going to be disappointed with that. And there goes the final whistle. Galatasaray, just a thrill to witness here. Quick, slick, and such fun. You really would fear for anyone playing up against them right now. Owen collecting the match ball, and it is his. Any reflections on what you've seen, Jim?
Galatasaray definitely impressing me here, especially the way that attack clicked. Whether it was link-up play, running in behind, this has just been a great day at the office.
Well, that's it for tonight's match, so it just remains for me to thank Jim Beglin alongside me and to wish you all a very good evening.
And a quick reminder today that parking in the area around the stadium is strictly forbidden. Please use parking provided by the club or any other paid parking facilities in the area.
Well, what a sight this is. The colour, the choreography, the camaraderie.
Hello,
The
everybody,
fans have
and
pulled out
welcome
all
to
the
today's
stops to
match.
make this a monumental occasion.
Against Galatasaray.
Well, the pre-match build-up has been fantastic. Now, the game itself. So we're up and running. One of the most eagerly awaited games in football. It never lets us down. Platini, a player joining here, a pretty exclusive club. This game is the 200th in his career for this side.
Yeah, and he's proven himself to be quite a player in the last 199, Peter. Flexible, adaptable, showing a real tactical aptitude, and number 200 should be no different.
Now it's Haaland. Haaland receives it in a good... Haaland! There was plenty of power on that. Well, they could break here. Del Piero. Some intricate passing, looking to progress the ball. And it's Serginho. Seedorf does really well to win the ball there.
Owen really needed to concentrate on protecting the ball. Then again, he was being very closely marshalled.
Stood up well to him there. Platini. Can he get it? Shot a goal! Well, that was nice, but not quite the end product required.
Oh, it's very good running that. You're always going to have chances with that kind of movement.
Nice interception. His positioning was spot on. Well, the boss won't be happy about that at all. They were pedestrian in possession and carried almost no threat at all. Not the most accurate pass. Now it's Bale. Nicked it back promptly. He's had a shot! Very early stages, Jim, but anything up to now that's of note?
Well, both sides seem happy with the patient approach for now, still trying to have a good look at one another.
Well,
Well, a few of his teammates are quite furious with him as they felt they were within reach, but he made nothing of it. His boss doesn't look too amused either.
That has not gone well. Now it's Haaland. And this is Bale. Oh, he's taken out. That'll be a foul. Well, that's a booking. Always looked it.
Yeah, it would seem a little too far out, and this will probably be a dink far post.
Lampard, a legend of his time. That is a gem, an absolute gem. Fenerbahce take the lead. That was beautiful, something close to genius.
Well, he made it look effortless, clearly a training ground perfectionist.
Fenerbahce have their opener. It is a goal of real significance.
Well, that's changed the mood entirely, as you'd expect, Peter. It'll be fascinating now to see what kind of reaction it will cause.
Well, that's well spotted. Pepe is someone so often referred to as the defender's defender.
That's going in strongly.
And he's there to make the challenge.
Galatasaray are really in a position where patience and prudence will serve them best. Time's on this.
He's had a shot! And a goal! A game of thrills, all square in the blinking of an eye.
Well, if ever you want to see a lesson in responding to a deficit, that's it. Their heads didn't drop, and now their chins are up.
The movement so precise, the finish sumptuous.
Yeah, when you're hit on the counter-attack like that, it's like walking into a sucker punch, and they're dazed.
It's starting to look very interesting, this.
Well, they just couldn't have responded any better, Peter. Yeah, there's the old cliche about how teams can lose focus after scoring, but you still have to take your chances. Brilliant.
Owen. Owen was alert to the possibilities, but in the end it's fruitless. Guardiola wins the duel this time. Bale is a player who barely needs an invitation to shoot. He's shifting through the gears here. Some excellent tackling here, and that one a perfect example. Well seen, saw that coming.
That's great positioning, so good from him.
Nesta. Pepe. Gattuso. Oh, good read.
That was well played, well stopped.
Pepe gets across to intercept that. Haaland. Spread out to the left. That is good pressure, just hounded him off it. Gattuso. And that's been intercepted.
He read that really well and stopped it.
That's going wide left. It's a pretty loose pass. And that pass is somewhat less than ideal.
Fenerbahce clearly should have gone for the easier pass. Now they'll have to quickly regroup.
There will be 1
Del
minute added
Piero.
time.
He won't be happy with that one. And here's Platini. Serginho. And for the first half, that is that. Well, the glass is either half full or half empty. Neither side yet truly to impose themselves, and it's level pegging at half-time. What have we learned from the first 45 minutes?
Galatasaray will be pretty happy with the way they've performed so far. They remain calm after going behind, and they were able to raise the intensity, get their equaliser. So this isn't bad at all.
Well, it has been confrontational, combative, competitive, everything you'd expect from Derby Day. Well, it's been a tight game, but one that's packed with incident and talking points. A decent watch this, and it's 1-1 at half-time. And hostilities have resumed at the start of the second half. talk to him about. The referee's awarded a free kick. Well, that is one way to stop him. And he was quick to react. Platini. And it's Davids. It's run loose here. He's picked his way through. In by Del Piero. And we have our very first corner. Del Piero plays it short. Nicely aimed pass. And now a sudden chance to counter. Engages and forces him off the ball. Tries to play it through. And that has left him in a heap. Guardiola has been caught there, it's a foul. He knew what was coming, that's a yellow card. Just wouldn't stay down for him.
Lampard will have to accept some flack for that. Was anyone really expecting it?
Silvestre cuts out the pass. Davids. Now, can they get him away? An uncompromising challenge. And the whistle has gone for a reckless challenge there. And he's going to have his name taken. He's looking wide. Del Piero proves just a little bit too strong. Oh, it's a nice idea, but the execution was lacking. Oh, good-looking ball. Guardiola. Chance for a shot! And he was there to get a vital touch.
This is why he's so highly regarded. Absolutely fantastic.
11, Bale. Coming on the field is number 27, Bayern.
It's gone all the way through to the keeper. Galatasaray have the chance to go the other way. That is good alertness. Hoisted upfield by the keeper. Well, they've got it again. Now it's Haaland. Real chance! Off the post! Goal! Fenerbahce! And they've got their lead back. He'll take that. Perhaps not the prettiest, but they all count.
Yeah, he showed great reactions there. Right place, right time, easy pickings.
67 minutes is number
And very
27.
quickly, the substitute made his mark.
I think the manager's claiming an assist here.
Fenerbahce with the lead. This is Del Piero. Oh, he's tripped him right on the cusp of the penalty area. And that is a huge moment in the context of the game. So this to pull level. And he scores! Back in business! Not much more than a formality.
Well, I'm not sure what body language the keeper was trying to read, but it didn't work.
Galatasaray dragged themselves back again.
You've got to commend that, Peter. It's the perfect response to falling behind. Don't let your heads drop.
And there's the shot! It's loose now and they want to get it back. Oh, in he goes again!
Well, he certainly wasn't in the mood to take any risks.
He's had a fair tumble under that challenge. Silvestre is very much the model of the modern-day fullback. Bojan Krkic is herring after that one. No way through. Bojan, just a quarter of an hour to play. That has been slung wide. And the whistle's gone, presumably for offside.
Well, there's no doubt that they want to win this, Peter. They have to maintain the energy and dynamism until the very end of it.
Number 9, Messi. Coming on the field, Number 10, Mbappe. Number 14, Fiore.
So changes afoot here, and from both sides. Oh, nicely intercepted. Who saw this coming? This is going right to the wire. Beckenbauer. Oh, he's going to be disappointed with that. And Boyan! And no, he couldn't find the finish.
Oh, unlucky. There's the urgency they need, and it nearly brought them a goal.
Chiellini kept his eye on it, and he's there. And he welcomes it in, and he welcomes it in. Can he finish? Goal! Galatasaray! And that is goal number 20. That was a given. It always was.
Well, that's really well played, Peter. You have to appreciate the simplicity of it all. A killer pass, perfectly delivered.
Guardiola! Oh, the ball's run loose here. Corner number 2 then. Tries a shot! And that could have brought them level.
Well, that's the response the crowd were looking for, Peter, and it's applause all round us here.
Now he's got space here.
This usually is the time teams go into conservation mode.
Guehi makes the interception. Not much time now for anything fresh to happen, I think. That is a jarring tackle, but apparently nothing wrong with it. Cruyff
6 added minutes has been indicated.
knocks it into space. He's come in hard. Driving forward. João Neves. Guardiola is the distributor-in-chief, always looking for movers. Oh, he's had it taken off him. And he's certainly caught him there. It's a free kick. And he is going into that little black book.
Well, what possessed him to do that, Peter, I have no idea. It's not in keeping with the quality of the performance.
Just too high. And there goes the final whistle. They are pumped. Boy, they're pumped. A tough win earned through the power of will. And this place is bouncing. Del Piero claiming the Man of the Match award. And there is very little room for argument. So bring it on. Hype, expectation, emotion.
Hello,
The
everybody,
game yet
and
to kick
welcome
off.
to today's
The
match.
excitement already palpable.
Galatasaray against Ajax.
Colours vivid and vibrant, songs loud and proud. The tone for this game is well and truly set. There's the whistle, and here we go. Well, here he is, Martin Caceres, an uncompromising, unrelenting defender, Jim.
Yeah, and that unbreakable spirit is what makes him so special, Peter. He just plays without fear, determined to win at all costs.
Every team needs one of him, doesn't it?
Well, if you want to be successful, it's essential.
And it's Bergkamp. Eze will not want to lose out here, not against this opponent. Del Piero running with intent. Very nicely done. Shoots! Oh, nice. Just not quite.
Well, that was certainly bold, Peter. He's never short on confidence.
Pepe. Oh, that pass isn't the best. And that interception was most necessary.
That was well played, well stopped.
Edmilson. Davids calmly anticipates. Del Piero. So, Jim, what have you made of what we've seen so far?
Well, neither side has really grabbed the initiative, I would say. Both must have come in with a view of not making any early mistakes. So we're seeing some conservatism here.
Gattuso. Van Dijk. That's Thuram. Pepe. Threads one in. Platini picks it up out wide. Great defending, strong and determined. Well, the defence proved infallible then, but that won't be the last they'll see of him. That has been slung wide. Looking for options for movement. And he shoots! Goal! Ajax! And Ajax take the lead. The movement so precise, the finish sumptuous.
Look, if you want to be effective on the break, then the key element is always pace. That's what really rips defences apart, and it's difficult to find an answer to it when it's applied like that.
The first breakthrough.
Well, this will present the manager with a few interesting options, Peter. Try sitting on this or push on with the opposition now forced to come out. And he could have done himself a massive favour by just lifting his head up there. You know, it would have been a better picture of what was going on around him.
Del Piero. Davids. It's a sweeping cross. He's going to be disappointed. He's had a shot! And he looked every bit the assured keeper there.
That's very, very good. You can't ask for much more than that.
Galatasaray with the corner. They're first. Del Piero plays it short. Platini! And now a sudden chance to counter. Maldini. And it's Del Piero. Now, can they get it back? Looking to play him in. Owen, unable to make it happen for all his good intentions. Lovely pass, but can he get there? Just the keeper in his way. He's been side down. Is that a penalty? Now, the referee has given a free kick just outside the box. Van Dijk has been sent off. It was deemed a professional foul.
Well, it's never nice to see something like that, is it? But
And the shot! In he goes again! Oh, it's come loose. And that was nowhere near his best. I think that's offside. Yes, it is.
Ajax definitely have the look of a team that likes to counter-attack, Peter.
Yeah, that is clear. Just look at how they line up.
Well, in other words, they don't mind being patient.
Substitution for Galatasaray. Number 4, Platini. Coming on to replace him is number 13, Nesta.
But it is clear to see that he is not at all happy with that.
Well, the pass wasn't good enough, and he knows it.
Davids. Eze, who can single-handedly make a difference. Always onto this. And this is Messi. He has found a way through. Oh, that is good. Super running, sharp movement. Came up against a defender, though, who was ever so determined. He steps in, and that's the end of that. Owen. Now it's Bergkamp. Maldini makes the interception. Galatasaray have rung the changes already. They could, of course, make further alterations at half-time. And Del Piero! Oh, it's hit the post! I'll be a bit disappointed with that.
Oh, it looked like he tried to give it some extra whip.
That is good alertness. Koundé.
2 added minutes
Kaká.
has been indicated.
And this is Bergkamp. Tries to pass it through. Now it's Del Piero. Neatly clipped into space. Oh, that takes a shot! Oh, the ball's run loose here. Eze has an approach to... And that signals the end of the first period. So a steady, solid and more than satisfactory first half. They've got the lead, and that gives them something to build on after the break.
Attendees,
Galatasaray finding themselves behind by just one goal at the break.
Well, let's not beat about the bush, Peter. It's been fairly flat, and the support have had little to cheer about, so an awful lot of questions have got to be asked, and the answers need to be found in a hurry.
So that was the first half, and we will be back with the second half shortly. Hostilities have resumed at the start of the second half.
Galatasaray can really do with some bigger names standing up here. At times they didn't even look as if they knew what they were doing.
That is a jarring tackle, but apparently nothing wrong with it. Owen! That's a shade optimistic. Bergkamp. Chance here to counter. Looking for a runner. And he's intervened well there. Galatasaray are looking to break at pace. And it's Bergkamp. Kaka looking to be a menace in the final third.
Bergkamp really was well marshalled there because he was denied the opportunity to turn.
Could move up a gear here. Eze. Bout of passing here, really easy. Batistuta! Oh, how's that for a goal? He's got himself an absolute peach. 2 up now, and they are cruising.
The goal scorer for Ajax.
Well, when it's pieced together as efficiently as that, it's a joy to watch.
Gabriel Batistuta.
Ajax are doing very nicely, thank you.
Well, it's a great time for them to keep the momentum going. I don't see any need to change the approach. Keep at it with the same intensity, and soon enough, they'll get another break.
And it's Bergkamp. Pass is coming off in quick succession here. Oh, he's taken out. That'll be a foul. Oh, that's a booking. Always looked it. And here's Messi! Well, the finish certainly didn't match the build-up.
He did well there, held his run enough to ensure he didn't stray offside.
No way through. Galatasaray do have options available on the bench if they want to go that way. Seedorf. And here's Owen. He's a sharp little ball here.
Owen really needed to concentrate on protecting the ball. Then again, he was being very closely marshalled.
Oh, good read.
He read that really well and stopped it.
Kaka. Nicely weighted ball. Now it's Bergkamp. Bergkamp showed plenty of zest in getting to the ball, but couldn't quite sort it out. Can he get it through? And that's another good win of the ball. Edmilson. Kaka at his creative best. He's set up 2 goals. Nesta. Del Piero. Now he's got space here. And the counter is on.
Ajax couldn't really be more watertight in midfield. Not a trickle is getting through.
Well seen. Saw that coming.
That's great positioning. So good from him.
And here's Owen. Kaka. It's a really well-measured ball. He's got away. He'll try from distance. Oh, it looked like 3-0 for sure.
Messi is fully aware of how important that could have been. Probably game, set and match.
Substitution
So we have
for
movement on both
Galatasaray.
benches.
Number 10, Owen. Number 23, Seydorf. Number 18, Del Piero.
Galatasaray
Coming on the
have
field,
now used up
number
all but one of
17,
their substitution
Ibrahimovic.
windows.
Number 5, Gullit. Number 14,
Whatever happens,
Johan
that's the
Cruyff.
kind of movement which raises
Substitution.
hope.
And here's Del Piero. Whistle's gone, that's a foul. So, power or guile, what's it going to be? This the perfect chance to extend the advantage. Del Piero. Oh, shooting chance! Del Piero finds himself offside. And it's Cruyff. He's had it taken off him.
Well, this does not look promising, Peter. The least they can do is to give the crowd something to cheer about, but that might be difficult from here. There's nothing more infuriating for a fan than seeing passing without penetration. They're just stuck in a rut.
And that pass is somewhat less than ideal.
They should have done a lot better there. The final ball was very poor.
Well, he's not happy with that challenge, but the referee has let it go. Oh, that's fabulous. Oh, no, what has happened here? And the assistant referee has his flag raised for offside. Cruyff. No, it's come to nothing. Nesta.
There will be 3 minutes added time.
But it's Thuram. To Pepe. Fourth official showing that there will be 3 minutes of added time. Maldini. And it's Davids. And it's Cruyff. And that's gone loose. And here's Ibrahimovic. Goes for a shot! And that is as much as we have time for. Well, that's a tough one. Losing is never good, but this one feels especially hard to take. The noise is just about reaching a crescendo here as these two sides get
Hello
ready to lock
everybody, and
horns.
welcome
This
to
is
today's
football
match.
at its finest.
Galatasaray against Brazil.
There's nothing quite like match day, especially here. This crowd doesn't do ordinary, and we should be in for something very special. And we're underway. Who do you think this turns on, Jim?
Yeah, N'Golo Kante. He is only one midfielder, but it often feels like he does the work of two or three. He's got exceptional awareness for danger and the stamina to make sure he can go and snuff it out over and over again if required. He's also exceptional in the tackle, and when you watch him in the latter parts of a game, 90th minute plus, he looks as if he's in the first five.
He would be the obvious choice, wouldn't he? It's Pato! Off the post! Galatasaray are looking to break at pace. Owen. Platini. Looking to play him in. Messi. Conte. And it's Michel Platini. Platini! And he was there to get a vital touch.
Well, someone's doing his job properly, Peter, that's for sure.
Vieri. Threads one in. Shoots! Well, the finish certainly didn't match the build-up.
That's really well played. It's just the type of run you need. Off the shoulder of the last defender, stay onside.
And here's Platini. Excellent challenge there, uncompromising. So, Jim, what have you made of what we've seen so far?
Well, I think both teams probably feel it's too early for either to start taking real risks. So they're still very much in a...
He's going for goal! Oh, that was a brilliant save.
I think he's done great there, both reading it and dealing with it.
Messi. Thinks one through. Thuram kept his eye on it, and he's there. Davids. Well, that was a period of possession which carried just about no threat at all. If you have just joined us, well, you've missed no goals. Chance here to counter. Van Bouten cuts out the pass. Pepe. And it's Owen. Van Bouten cuts it out.
Brazil definitely have the look of a team that likes to counter-attack, Peter.
Yeah, that is clear. Just look at how they line up.
Well, in other words, they don't mind being patient.
Oh, he's enjoyed that. He evidently loves the contest. Gattuso has quite the footballing brain. He's almost never outsmarted. Messi. Vieri. Now it's Pato. Bumps him off it and wins back the ball. Looking for the run. Oh, now he can run away with it. Owen. Shot, surely! Goal! Galatasaray! And Galatasaray have the lead. The movement so precise, the finish sumptuous.
Look, if you want to be effective on the break, then the key element is always pace. That's what really rips defences apart, and it's difficult to find an answer to it when it's applied like that.
Galatasaray have fired themselves in front.
Yeah, but I think they all know too well that things are far from done here, and while there's never a good time to be caught out, you definitely don't want it to be now.
Great ball if he can get there. Now he's running away. Oh, that's horribly mistimed, and it's given. Penalty. Galatasaray presented with a golden opportunity here. The chance to pull further clear. Brilliant save from Buffon! That has drawn gasps of disbelief.
Not the best spot kick I've ever seen, but they've got to keep their heads up and chase this game.
Galatasaray have their second corner now. Platini with the short one. Has to go back here. And that is well cleared. Brazil are looking to go forward now. No, that's been intercepted. Galatasaray looking to go into the break, 1-0 up. Nicely aimed pass. Oh, he's bustling through and Owen! Oh, split-second reaction.
Owen clearly thought he had the beating of the keeper.
Corner number 3 coming up. They've played it short. Owen with the delivery. Oh, he had to make that, and he did make it. And now they can spring out of defence. And here's Owen. Schneider. No way through there. And the two sides separated by the game's only breakthrough moment to this point. And the score is 1-0. Maldini. Del Piero. And it's Michel Platini. And the whistle goes for half-time. Well, it's certainly simmered along nicely so far. Just the one goal in it, and it's all still very much up for grabs. How would you review the first half?
Well, this is when you need your players to step up, Peter. Be brave, see all that courage. They need to have a big start to the second half to give them some momentum, and they're not going to get that if they're being too risk-averse.
Galatasaray have played well here, and they have the all-important lead. It's 1-0. And we're already back up and running after half-time.
Galatasaray can do themselves a massive favour by grabbing another one here.
And he's managed to get free. Can he finish? And that was very necessary. Looking for options for movement. Oh, he's found support out wide, and he's picked it up out wide. Tacho does well not to be outdone there. Well, the defence just about came out on top, but they were certainly tested. Little doubt, that is a foul. He knew what was coming. That's a yellow card.
Well, Peter, when you're up against a speedster, you've got to get to him early and not let him get into his stride, and they're just not doing that.
He's having a hit! Denied by an instinctive save.
Really looked sharp there, didn't he? That's very well played.
And here's Azar. Oh, now here's an interesting matchup. Well, the defence proved infallible then, but that won't be the last they'll see of him. Nesta, always a very imposing presence at the back. Team still separated by the game's only goal. And it's Del Piero. Del Piero! Oh, nice. Just not quite.
He actually looks pretty annoyed with himself there. He's usually better than that.
So we've reached the hour mark. That pass has been well intercepted. Look at the space here. And he's cleared it out of harm's way. He's played it back. Oh, that is a nice touch. Vieri going about things with real menace. Now it's Del Piero. And Del Piero! And yes, it's there! 2 up and in charge, and things are looking pretty good for them now. Beautiful, just beautiful. The joy of the moment.
That was magnificent. The way he caught it so perfectly. I think he's even managed to surprise himself, Peter.
Oh, shooting chance! Conte. Messi. Now it's Pato. Still no way through. The defending here is resolute. And here's Platini. And he's got away from him. Well, that pass isn't the best. Now it's Del Piero. Plays a sharp little ball here. Oh, big chance! Oh, no shortage of confidence there.
He's absolutely full of energy here. Definitely had the right idea. A shame he just couldn't finish it off.
And that is expertly dealt with. And now a sudden chance to counter. That's an untidy challenge. Free kick given. And it's been played through. And he's got the beating of his man.
Well, he certainly wasn't in the mood to take any risks.
Half an hour gone in the second half. He's having a pop! Oh, that is outstanding! That is a gem! An absolute gem! He made it happen, squeezed through with sheer will and considerable accuracy.
Well, I'm sat here, Peter, thinking that the keeper might have done a little better then. Maybe his positioning wasn't great, but then again, I don't think he had a wonderful view of it.
A shift in momentum, perhaps.
Well, I think they have every chance of levelling this now, Peter, but they've got to stay calm and not go completely gung-ho.
Conte, a probing pass. It's out for a goal kick.
Substitution for Galatasaray, number 23.
So we have movement on both benches.
Number 4, Platini. Number 10,
Gattuso
Owen. Coming on the field, number 7.
tries to pass it through. Del Piero receives it in a wide position. That's a decent clearance.
Ibrahimovic. Substitution in progress.
Pirlo gets into a good position. Oh, great leap! Firm header just off target.
That's a really decent chance.
Now it's Inzaghi. Shevchenko has it in a wide position.
Well, he got rid because he was under pressure. Brazil really can only do one thing now, Peter. Get the ball up front, make sure it sticks, and sustain some pressure.
He's in a great position here.
There will be 3 minutes added time.
Out of play for a goal kick. Board shows there will be 3 extra minutes. And it's Del Piero. Ambitious ball here. And he's quick to snatch it back. Beckenbauer aims beyond the defence. Now the towering header! And it's in! Certain, searing and imperious.
He did so well there, attacking the ball the way he did. He got a...
So that's it. It is all over. Galatasaray can probably lay claim to the title of having been the better side here. Certainly more results-driven as they went about their business in an efficient manner.
And a quick
Del
reminder
Piero
today
claiming
that
the Man of
parking
the
in
Match
area
award,
around the stadium
and there
is
is
strictly-
very...